Before we start recording, background music has been brought to us by Coast Soundscapes. Check him out on YouTube. He said I could do this in his description.
Hello and welcome back to Roll for That. This is our Gravemire adventure. I am Paxton, and I will be the dealer for this adventure.
Perfect. I'm Cameron, and I'll be playing Jeb.
I'm Eric, and I'm playing Vance.
And I'm Grayson, playing Raquel.
Ooh, it has been a little bit since we last met, and I hope that means that we'll just have even more fun than usual. And by more fun, I mean, I don't know, probably just more fun.
Yeah,
Let's
planning
see.
on it.
Last time we were able to return from our adventure. Y'all had a tough fight with some wood sprites of some sort, some living shadows, one might say, and then found a shortcut to get back home. After that, we did our downtime activities in Scarstone, and then the three of you worked together, and we determined what your next job was going to be. And so, unless anybody wants to bring up anything else in particular, I am ready to send you out on that job.
Yes. I cannot remember though. Did Vance get some of the Borders fireflies?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
So our job was to return a letter to somebody who had helped somebody in town, correct?
Yes.
And then maybe get some ambrosia nectar from some wasps.
Yes, and seek information and maybe actually get some
Okay.
of these.
Was the WASP contract something of just personal interest, or was that another ETU contract?
We had not specified. I do think it would make sense for ETU to want a sample of this.
What is ETU?
That's the university that hired the three of you to get the samples of the lotus plant.
I thought it was like stood for Enter the Unknown. I'm like, am I forgetting something? But yes, okay.
It can stand for Enter the Unknown.
Which I'm like, I don't know how that would fit in this, but okay, yeah, I'm ready. That's all my questions for the start.
Same here.
All right. Oh, speaking though of the fireflies, Vance, do you remember if Friend gave you a way to contact him after you got the fireflies, or was he just kind of vaguely ominous about being able to find you?
I believe it was vaguely ominous.
Okay, that sounds like something I would have done, but I wanted to make sure I didn't forget something.
Yeah, that is my direct memory. Is a vaguely ominous. We'll meet again, kind of thing.
Of course.
A little cute meat again. Probably not.
A meet cute with a pile of ants.
You know how it is. One
You know.
person's tripping down underneath a mountain, the other person's pulling them underneath it.
Yeah, classic.
The usual.
Yes. Now, the mysterious woman to whom you have been asked to bring this letter does not have an address in the swamp. Instead, the sender of the letter also gave you instructions for how to find her home, and those instructions are not nearly so passe as to say, you know, travel eastward 6 miles and then you'll find the house. No. The instructions are, in fact, let's see. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. No matter where you are in the swamp, orient yourself north and then measure the angle from magnetic north toward the pine. Then measure that same angle again from the pine further eastward. Travel 3 miles and find a circle of cypress trees. Enter the circle of trees and speak a oh my, I just lost the word. Speak an incantation. And then it also lists out a short ritual, which we will develop together, I think. And you'll be transported to her home.
Simple.
So, in order
And
to get your direction, I'm going to need, before we even officially leave Scarstone, I'm going to need a roll from someone that has to do with navigation.
Okay. I even got a compass.
A compass may even be useful here.
Yeah. So before we like even step through the border, we're doing this roll.
Yes.
Okay. I think the only thing I could really use is trailblazing and a compass.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That sounds right to me.
it'll be +4. So 17.
Ooh, 17 is good.
Ooh,
That
that's
is
a
a
full.
full success. Excellent. So you find your heading and step across the border. I need each of you to make a willpower check to leave the safety of Scarstone.
That's 2d8, and we're trying to roll
2d8?
below our thing, correct?
Yes.
at or below.
At or below
'Kay.
your current willpower.
I was definitely much higher. I go down
Ooh.
to 7 willpower.
Doing good. Doing good.
Does that immediately break you again, or is it
No,
5?
it's 5 and 3.
That's right.
That's why I
5,
was
but
double checking.
The regain is up to 7. That's what it is.
Yes.
I knew it's something weird like that.
Yeah. That would suck if it broke me again. I would have an aversion to the
Immediately.
border.
An aversion to leaving.
Yes.
Please no. Please no.
Leaving safety. Ooh,
Ooh.
that's an actual. Yes.
3 miles is not a far trip.
It is not.
Either.
Hopefully we don't mess it up. That's the thing.
Aye, aye.
Okay. So I'm the only one who seems to be affected by entering the bayou.
That is fair. All right. So we enter the bayou, and the 3 of you begin your relatively short trek. If this area were a good trail, or what's the other word I'm looking for? Paved path, even, this walk might only take you like an hour, maybe a little bit more than that, depending. But as it is, you are traveling through pretty dense and boggy swamp.
Oh, swamp water.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. Let's move ourselves to. Yeah, I like that one. It also becomes very dark very quickly as the trees block out your ability to see the sunlight. Um, I would like someone to roll me. Gosh, y'all still have the same skills that you always have had.
That's not true.
Forever and ever.
Well, you have uh, a couple additional skills, but mostly you do still have the skill sets you always have had.
That's true. We did not lose skills.
You have not lost or traded in skills, which is not a thing that can happen in this system. Though, that is a fun idea that I'm gonna put in my back pocket for later. Um, I want to call for a skill roll here that has something to do with, moving quickly or carefully. But I really don't want Raquel to just carry this.
All right, Raquel, carry us.
I can't carry you. I'm not that
Everyone,
strong.
everyone under Raquel's back.
I mean, if we want to do that, Raquel can roll it as a what's it called? An unfamiliar check.
To try to
There's
carry
a-
everybody.
Sam Hell.
Yeah, what in the Sam Hill?
I mean, if you want, I could do some sort of experimental foraging thing and see if, like, because I'm out and about, but that's not really stealthy or anything. It's just more like off on my own or something.
Right.
I have hunting in the woods, which would be stealthy, and I do not mind rolling.
Ooh, yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
I'm too busy looking at the compass for whatever this action requires.
Let's see.
You're being careful to keep your heading.
Oof. 10. With my bonus is a failure.
Oh no. Where did I put that? You rolled a 10 or a 12?
10 total.
10 total. Okay. Oh boy. That is a pure failure.
Failure being a 6 to an 11.
Yes. Failure to move quickly and quietly. So, I'm going to give this choice to the three of you. One of you loses something important in the bog.
Oh no.
What is it?
So I have a lantern that can be lost. I have a sword. I have a compass, which probably is the least likely thing I have to get lost, and a bedroll. Of those, I think the sword or lantern is the most interesting from me.
If we want, I mean, basically the only two items I really have are a pan and a knife.
You do have a special bracelet that was gifted to you.
Oh yeah.
I've got my cigarette box, but I don't think that would be as interesting to lose. But like the magic notebooks or the silver filings, messing with those somehow.
Either one of those could be interesting. Let's see.
Would I be using the lantern right now to help? Is it that dark?
It's not so dark that you need the lantern. Though there's a chance that it could become that dark soon.
Okay. Because I think it'd be very interesting to be like, oh, now it's time to light it, and be like, oh, I don't have it.
Okay. I will take that offer and take away your lantern.
Hey.
Well, there goes the lantern.
There it goes. Never even got a chance to shine.
Wah, wah.
All right.
Oh,
But we continue.
yeah, we do.
That we did.
Do-do. Where did I put my notes? There are my notes. Okay. Um so the three of you are slogging through this mud and trying to walk on stones or tree roots where you can. Um and it is not too long before one of you notices a row of ants walking in uh, double file um, in a straight line up a tree nearby. And if you look up, you do see a very large pile of ants up in the crook of two tree branches. Today, they are wearing a very fancy looking Stetson hat with a feather stuck in the band around it. The feather looks like it might have come from like a a
A small
fan-
giant egress.
oh no, I was thinking of a fancy chicken.
Okay.
Um, like it's a rooster tail feather kind of thing. Those
Yeah.
bright, shiny green ones.
Well, hello there, friend.
Oh man, why can't I remember Friend's voice suddenly?
He just sounds like a lot of ants.
He sounds like a lot of ants.
He's
That's
like,
true. This chorus of ants speaks to you in something that sounds maybe like English. Hello there, Vance. Have you brought me my repayment?
I have an Vance. I believe it was in a jar, but I don't remember exactly.
I believe that's accurate.
Yeah, I think it was in some kind of glass that I wrapped to not shine so bright.
Hmm.
So I pull this glass out of his he pulls this glass out of his bag and it glows a little bit. And he just holds it aloft and says, "Here is your price for my life."
Ah, delightful. And um, the ants all start swarming toward you, and they create a long protuberance of insect bodies that reaches down and envelops the jar and like drags it up into the center mass of the swarm. Ooh, these will be very useful soon, I think. I Well, it is always a pleasure doing business with you. If any of you have need of me, just shout. And the whole colony, the whole swarm, uh, just like disappears into a hole in the trunk of the tree and is gone uh, before you have a chance to respond.
How did
Interesting.
he find us, Vance?
I don't know. I didn't expect to run into him so quickly, but I figured we would eventually. I bet he's got eyes all over the woods, as it were.
Eyes and antennae, probably.
Well, that was fun. What was that thing?
Oh, right. Jebediah has not been fully aware for any
Yeah.
interactions with this feller.
That was friend. The only non-aggressive thing we've really come across out here besides Atlas now. I guess the first non-aggressive being we've come across out here now.
Hmm.
And he saved my life whenever we were out in a field last week, I guess it was. And in repayment, he asked for some of the border bugs, and I couldn't really say no, could I? And just die underground.
Oh, well, hard to argue with that, I guess.
I agreed at the time. I agreed with you at the time as well.
Well, oh, I don't. These interactions are getting more and more weird with friend.
Yeah, at first it was just a information trade. It's been a little bit more materialistic since then, hasn't it?
But I don't know what I wouldn't trade for my life, so.
Just don't mind me, just taking notes. All right. So you continue traveling, and when it takes after maybe an hour and a half, you realize that you have traveled a little over 2.5 miles. The going is very slow here. But at that point, you step out of this quagmire into an area that is much easier to navigate. Let's see, what is it gonna look like on our screen? We'll just use this one. I like this one. There is more light. The trees grow straighter and taller. And there is more definition between the ponds and the raised areas of drier ground. So it is much easier to travel here. In fact, you see a little dude in a very modern looking coat. Anyway,
Just cheesing it in the background.
just running as quickly as possible. You hear a shrill voice saying, "That hoodlum stole my pies!"
And then a shotgun blast.
Yeah, and then there's a shotgun blast and a red mist.
Man, the
But not
Bayou's
from the little
violent
person
today.
in the cave.
What was that?
I said, but the mist is not from the person in the coat.
Yeah, there's someone else that gets exploded.
Blast
Anyway, blast them. Don't sue me, Lucasfilms or Disney.
Even
Anyway,
if you try, you wouldn't get anything.
Yeah, I have so little to offer you, Mr. Mouse. Moving on from that bit, which was a delightful palate cleanser, you enter this area that is a little bit lighter. Wow, there is a very loud motorcycle here. Do you hear that?
I did, but I thought it was your cat going grrr.
Oh, well, she is going absolutely bonkers. But
I thought that was coming from my end for a moment.
anyway, goodness, that was a loud. Yes, Suki, we were
Un
talking about.
motocicleta.
Anyway, we are very focused. It's great.
Oh,
Anyway, You reach this area that is much lighter and easier to navigate, and in fact, there is a small path here, which is delightful and perfect. Until, let me see.
Bum bum bum.
Which of you were marked by the the giant shepherd
Oh, I was.
in
And
episode 1?
Raquel.
Raquel and Jebediah.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Both of your foreheads start to itch faintly. And you realize that the path you are walking on looks a lot like the game trail that you found a couple months ago that you followed to
The giant.
the shepherd's clearing.
Hmm.
And this path is kind of the path that we're supposed to still be taking, correct?
Yes, it is leading directly in the direction of the heading that you chose.
Oh. Oh my.
Um,
I guess we just deal with it then.
Yeah.
I I probably say it out loud. This feels like there was that giant guy. I think this feels like his trail.
Like, yeah, the one with the stone mask with one eye.
Yeah. I'd say that is him. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, like my forehead kind of it itches where you touched me. But
I say that as I am still walking.
yeah,
Sure.
I don't think we
Um,
stop, but
No, I don't think so either. You do soon reach, I believe it was a fork in the path, and you see a familiar looking or a recognizable notch in a tree stump nearby where the machete that you found and used briefly had been resting. Let's see. And let me see. That fork in the road doesn't offer any particular choice. You still have your heading very clearly.
yes.
But soon after that, you reach something that is not familiar. There is not a fork in the road, but a crossroads that you come across. Another path intersects this one at a 90-degree angle.
No.
And the moment you step into that place where the paths cross, Raquel's compass goes completely nuts. The needle starts spinning wildly, and then stopping, and then spinning around the opposite direction, and then stopping, and then spinning back around clockwise.
Enough to make my aversion activate.
Yes.
So, that is
That's
my
good, you
thing.
only
So I'm
lose
only
one.
losing one, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I am at 6. As I
Mhm.
I start having a small panic attack.
Mm-hmm. And then, go ahead and narrate your bit.
I think it's just a lot of the like heavy breathing, and she's like, guys, and the shaky hands, and then she passes the compass to one of you two, whoever's closest.
We were talking earlier. Oh, either one.
No, yeah, good.
I was just saying we were talking earlier, so I might be close.
Okay,
But
yeah, Jebediah
Mm.
gets the compass for right now.
Vance keeps looking straight forward the way they were looking when they walked in,
Mhm.
and like doesn't turn his feet. And he says, "I'm looking the way we were when we were coming in. So hopefully that's still the right direction."
And then you hear a voice behind you, and it says, "Oh, there you are. I was just thinking about you three and wondered if we might want to have a chat soon.
I turn. All right, maybe, but what do you want to chat about?
Oh, I just get lonely out here and was wondering if you'd like to come over for dinner.
Oh, we're busy at the moment.
When Vance hears the voice, he takes very direct and straightforward steps forward about a few and then pivots on one foot, keeping his left foot planted the same way and turns. He's like focusing, and you can almost see him just saying the word left over and over again to
Mm.
remind himself which foot is pointed the right direction.
Oh, that's fun. Would you like to roll for me? Um, I think stories for your knowledge of how to deal with these situations,
Oh,
and then
absolutely.
surgery for your skill in focusing and remembering important information.
Yeah. So heroes stories.
Or no, the
Oh wait, that
combined.
was 2d8. Oh,
Both,
combined. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
both skills for the same.
Stories and surgery. That's 3 total. That's much better than the 2d8 whenever I roll the right dice. So an 18 is in the full success range.
Excellent. Certainty in your bones. Exactly which direction you intend to travel.
Good.
Dang.
I'm looking at this giant now. How close is he to us?
Um, he is. I'm trying to decide what is more upsetting, if he's like really close or if he is still far enough away that you might be more comfortable talking if you walked toward him.
Vance assumed he was close. That's why he took some steps away before turning
Yeah,
around.
Yeah.
I think he's got to be close. He's like not quite in any of your personal bubbles, but he is close enough that if he decided to be violent, he could be.
Did he wake up today and choose violence? That's my
Yeah,
question.
and you become very aware of the possibility of violence when you see that instead of a shepherd's crook, he is currently carrying some kind of a spear.
Oh,
Did I get anything from the stories aspect of my roll?
Um, Let me
If
see.
not, it's fine. I
Right.
just was double checking.
You get a you remember that as long as you have some indication of the direction you were planning on going, you should be safe from getting lost. And also, you are reminded of the information you got previously about this person, how they steal names, but also, or they just have a weird relationship with names.
Yeah.
Um, and if they're not looking at you, you can claim a different name and change your relationship with them somehow, but it's kind of vague.
and did he answer Jebediah's question about what we want to talk about, or what does he want to talk about?
He just said, I get lonely and
That's
I
right.
wondered if you'd like to come for dinner.
Um,
And then somebody said, we're busy,
yes.
and I don't think he has replied yet. So he then replies to that with, of course, but I would love for you to stop by my home once your current business is through. Or of course, I could simply come find you come dinner time. And you can't help but imagine the great toothy grin behind this person's mask when they say that.
We might have to see about that once we get there. We're a little busy right now. Got to go find some wasps and do some recon. But but maybe.
Wasps. Oh, I do love those the golden honey of those ambrosias. Yes. That would make an excellent glaze.
Mm,
Hmm.
well, that may be true. Are you thinking on that lamb of yours or something else?
Lamb or something else.
Like pork?
Yes. Like pork. Hmm. I will come find you around dinner time. I would be very excited to see if you had found any of that honey. And um, the masked giant is there for a moment and then simply disappears. Your perceptions warp slightly, um, as though your eyes become fisheye lenses for just a second, and suddenly you're not on a crossroads anymore. The compass is pointing dutifully north, and the masked giant is not behind you.
Is Vance's foot still pointing in the north direction?
Vance's foot is still pointing in the direction of your heading. Yes.
Nice. What the?
Vance like just lets out a low sigh of just left. We should go before he shows back up.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like we need to be prepared for dinner. As Vance starts just he starts walking at a quickened pace.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Raquel does not ask for the compass back and just continues to follow.
Well, I guess I'm walking around with a compass then.
Excellent. Um, the next half mile passes very quickly. You're on something like a proper trail. The ground is solid. The sun is shining. You can see your feet. You can hear the birds and the bugs and the little critters swimming around in the small ponds and rivers that run through this area. Um, it's beautiful enough to almost forget how awful the bayou is sometimes.
So beautiful.
Oh,
And if I remember correctly, this is where the cedars should be, or a little further.
um, you do reach the cedars here very soon. Yes.
Okay.
Um, before we do that, I'd like to resolve, Mr. Jebediah. Would you like?
Maybe.
Are you interested in doing some experimental foraging while you?
You know what? I think I would love that.
All right. If you'd like to roll that,
Yes, I would. That would be the 2d12.
yes.
Making sure before I
Displays.
roll d8s and fail, like I did last time. Well, killing it.
You do have a +3 from your skill itself.
Yeah, that's true. So it
still
would be
just
11.
11, huh?
Yep.
Which is a failure.
Right.
It seems to you like this entire area has been picked over for everything edible and or delicious.
Those jerks. Whoever it was.
It is really rather disappointing.
I'm guessing the stone giant's just out here, like, making sure all the good food's in his belly.
Maybe.
Or in the belly of his Herd.
Flock.
Flock.
Mayhaps.
Victims.
So you reach the circle of did I say cypress? I think I said cypress.
I thought it was cedar, but
Cedar. Cedar is right. They're both trees with C's.
I thought all
Anywho,
trees had seeds.
anyway,
it's true.
before I
Move on,
get
keep going.
distracted
Yep.
and start talking about tree reproduction, let's do some collaborative world building real quick. The you were given an incantation to speak, which we don't have to specify at this point, but there is also a small ritual of sorts that you're supposed to complete in order to take yourselves to the home of this woman. I'd like each of you to tell me an element of this quick and dirty ritual. Whose instructions you were given.
One thing is the burning of a hair from each, or
Oh,
at
that's
least.
what I was thinking too.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, something.
I dig that.
Burning hair from each of the people who wish to enter.
Okay.
And maybe Vance has some, or Eric has some additional stipulations of hair. Maybe not.
I think it has, yeah, like it has to be, you know how they say like, oh, this piece of hair has a root. When you can see like the white little bit at the end, it has to be like that. So like
Okay.
it can't be like a clipping of hair. It has to be drawn directly from the head.
Yeah. Living hair with root intact.
Mm-hmm.
Scent ash.
I think too that it has to be like you can't just burn it in a fire. You have to like have something and burn it like near yourself. So that could be like if we had a lighter, or if we just have to like have a small fire on a twig or something. But it can't be part of a big, large fire. Like you can't throw the hair into the fire. You have to be holding it while it burns.
Yeah, like a fire in hand. So like a match or a candle or a lighter.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that a lot. Interesting. All right, and then let's see. I think the last element is that you, of course, then have to close your eyes and breathe for a number of heartbeats. Let's say for 12 heartbeats, because that's a nice round number.
It is.
Let's see. Do I want to call for a...
How many knuckles you got, or how many is it knuckles that you got on your hand? Why was it that people used to count by 12? I'm trying to remember now all of a sudden.
I don't know for sure either.
Pads on your fingers, that's what it is. So
Oh.
if you count the pads on your fingers, each of your fingers has 3 segments. You can count 12 with your thumb. That's what it is.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. That's why we've got a lot of base 12 stuff.
Hmm.
The more you know.
That's very good. I like numeric systems. Anyway, um, so do I want to? No, I don't want to call for a check for this. Um, I want to keep it thematic here. So the three of you complete this ritual, and when you open your eyes, yeah, that is probably the place I want to take you. You find yourselves um, standing just outside of a surprisingly large house. This isn't some hut or even a a comfortable cottage like the woman with many eyes lived in. No, this is just short of being a mansion. Um, and you find yourselves standing on the porch.
Nice.
The door opens, and you find yourselves uh, meeting a new person. This is the mysterious woman to whom you are supposed to deliver uh, this letter. Everybody, give me a detail about her.
She
Her
has.
hair
Oh,
is
go ahead.
her hair is long and strenuous, like you would imagine like an old hag's in a woods, but it's
Okay.
all different colors. Like if you were to part it anywhere, you could find any color of the spectrum that you wanted to.
Oh, fun. Like color of like the whole color spectrum, or just
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
spectrum of
absolutely.
natural human hair?
No, of all colors. So
Okay.
like, and maybe she can even like move it certain ways to where it's all blue for a while. But like
Mm-hmm.
if she was to just grab it from the center and pull it straight down, it would look like the pick a color spectrum wheel.
Uh-huh.
Nice. Um, she has the three finger hand, so 4 digits, so 3 fingers and a thumb.
Ooh.
But it looks like completely natural, unless you like start actually looking at it, and you're like, oh, that's not a human hand.
She's got a cartoon character hand.
But still very realistic. But yes,
Uh, she actually has no. She has eyeballs in her eyes, but there is nothing there. It's just like all white.
no pupil
Ooh.
or iris or
Nope, there's not even like the ridge or anything where an iris or anything would be. It's just like
it's just
a
sclera.
white.
Ooh,
Yep,
I love
that's
that.
it.
Um, so she opens the door, and you see these details of her. She has darker skin than any of you, um, and she looks at you with those blank looking white eyes, and um, she quirks an eyebrow and says, "Well, I guess you'd better come inside if you've come looking for me."
All right, man. We'll come right in.
Vance goes, "My name is Vance Petterson. It's a pleasure." As he steps in.
Mhm. As each of you step in, she offers you a strong handshake.
Nice.
Um, in just inside the door, there is a little gosh, what is the word? A little receiving room, kind of a mud room mixed with a solarium almost, like big windows that let the sunlight in, and it is just full of plants. Um, Most of them, Jebediah recognizes for sure. Some of them Vance recognizes as being medicinal. Um, there are a few that both of you know are very poisonous.
Who knew?
What an exquisite selection you have here, ma'am. Vance says, looking kind of shocked at the amazing growth indoors.
Mm, she just gives you a grin and says, I do my best. Come into my sitting room. And she leads you into another room that is full of uh, overstuffed couches and uh, lounging chairs, soft pillows, and even more plants. Um, and
Fancy.
she takes a seat in a rather large rocking chair, and she picks up a um, gosh, what looks like a crocheting project that she has ongoing, and starts working on that, and says, "Please take a seat anywhere, and tell me, why have you come here?"
Is
So
this
Who
who
do
we're
we
helping
think
with the
has the letter?
ambrosia?
this
No,
is
this
the
is
letter.
the yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. I couldn't remember which one specifically.
Oh, so
Mhm.
Raquel sits down on the comfiest looking chair
Mm-hmm.
and doesn't speak yet, but that's just Raquel's finding the most comfortable seat.
There are a lot of very comfortable seats.
Yeah, whichever one has like the most pillows on it, that's where she goes.
Okay, there is a big old couch that has so many pillows on it, and you can arrange them however you like the best.
Yeah, she is kind of sitting on the edge of it, but as like it's more comfortable, she like leans back in, and I
Mm.
think I don't think Raquel has the letter. Did Vance? Are you carrying the letter?
I definitely can be. I have no problem doing that.
I think your character makes the most sense to have carried it. I don't know why, but you're a learned
Because it
man.
probably wasn't me, huh?
We keep
So,
we keep losing Jebediah, so I don't.
Vance pulls the letter out of his bag that he keeps with him, and he says, "We were simply hired to bring thanks back from Scarstone." And he holds the letter out.
Oh, she very nearly snatches the letter from you and tears it open, and let me see. Uh, Inside the envelope there is a letter that is maybe 2 or 3 pages long, it looks like. And she also tilts the envelope a little bit and spills what looks like um, maybe a dozen seeds of different sizes and shapes out of it into her palm,
Ooh.
which she like looks at, and then she pockets, because of course her dress has pockets. She uh, is a
Woman
strong, independent woman
who needs
who,
pockets.
who likes pockets. Um, and without regard to any of you, she starts reading the letter immediately.
Makes
Would someone
sense.
like to roll me something?
I don't fall asleep check.
No, I was going to say something that has to do with understanding the emotions or mental state of others.
Cabbage farming.
Ooh, yeah, that'll be super useful.
Just I don't
I
think
can
that would
roll
be my-
bedside manner.
Bedside manner.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to my voice. I just haven't talked for a moment. It's gone now. I'm not doing
Oh, no.
anything to it. All right, yeah, I can just roll some bedside manner though.
Okay.
Bedside manner.
Oh, I was like, I got muted for a second. What happened? I hit the plus button to add a bonus to my roll, and it just muted me because my plus is also my mute key.
Nice.
12. I think that's just the verge of partial success.
Yes, that
Well,
is just
16.
barely a partial success. Oh, fun.
That's fine with me.
Let me draw a spindle wheel card. I'm gonna do that
I
on
like
the
these.
hidden page for now.
Oh no, that's not as good.
La página
Can
escondida.
I move this onto the page where we are? That would be nice. I wonder if I can copy and paste it. Here we are.
Witch.
A sharp tongue, a cruel sense of humor, a bottomless bag of tricks. Or a tight-knit coven, a negotiated power beholden only to you and yours. Oh boy. All right.
Seems a little on the nose, if I might, but I
Yeah,
like it.
it seems a little bit on the nose, but that is kind of the nature of this kind of like story prompts.
I just meant that we got the witch in this
Oh
moment.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
She's not a witch, she's a warlock.
I do love how often these like story prompt cards seem to almost take on a life of their own when they're used in gameplay. It's one of the reasons I wanted to get this one. Anyway, spindle wheel cards. They're very good. Get them on itch.io. Anyway,
I-O.
I wish I could remember the name of the people who created them. I will get that and maybe ask Grayson to put it in the something related to the post
The
on YouTube.
doobly-doo.
Yeah, the doobly-doo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you rolled a 12 and we
I
drew the
did.
witch. Okay. As she reads through the letter, her facial expression changes more rapidly than you might expect. It goes from excited to almost hungry to happy to confused, maybe hurt. There is some sadness, and then there is anger, which is replaced almost as quickly as it appears with that same charming grin. And she sets down the pages and looks up at the three of you and says, "Well, I suppose I'm going to need to take some time to, what's the word? To,
Respond?
yeah, what's the word? To draft my response."
Mm.
The letter says that Jason intends to also repay you for return service of a reply. Does that match your expectation?
Yes.
That was our understanding, yes.
Excellent. Perhaps I will include some of my own repayment for you. This letter means a lot to me, and I am so grateful that anyone would brave the swamp to get it to me. And she stands up and reaches, or she steps to a shelf nearby, and she reaches up and grabs a little wooden box, and she pulls it down and opens it up and reaches inside and gets like a handful of cash. With and like she doesn't look at it, she doesn't count it, she just like grabs out a stack and walks over and hands it to whichever one of you is closest. There is a fair amount of money here, and it's not all dollars. There are pesos, there are pounds sterling, there are there is money from maybe half a dozen different countries and cultures here. And even if you could only use the dollars, it's like a lot.
Nice. She definitely handed it to Jebediah.
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, he's
Oh, absolutely.
he was standing so close to, like, he was admiring a plant that she walks up to him. He's like, oh.
Yep, I got a bunch of money now. Don't worry about it.
Heck yeah. Oh, there we go.
Yes, we can wait as long as need be for you to draft your response. This is our main reason for being out in the bayou.
Ah. Oh, but only your main reason? I wouldn't want to keep you waiting. If you needed to take care of any other errands, I would be happy to await your return. I could even give you something to make it more convenient for you to get back. I know that traveling to my home is a bit odd.
Well, that is true.
You know, the things that we do for safety's sake.
I can understand that from the experiences we've had in the bayou.
Yeah.
Vance looks to his friends and says, I believe we are in no rush unless you all would like to head back out there to our next task.
Before I answer in character, how soon is dinner?
This place, sorry, just Vance's point of view, this place feels timeless. So this feels like kind of a cheat code for the moment. Vance is unsure if that's how it's gonna work, but that's Vance's thought is, as long as we're here, we're safe for the moment, and we can kind of plan for that.
That does feel about right. Raquel, your sense about when dinner is, you have several hours. If you left anytime close to the morning time,
Yes.
you were only walking for like a couple hours, maybe. So it's maybe close to noon now.
Raquel turns to her companions and is like, do you think we can find the wasps in a couple hours and get back here before dinner?
I don't know if we have a lead on the wasps, besides just they're in the bayou as well.
The woman perks up immediately and says, oh, I could help you with that.
Well, that would be nice, ma'am. If you don't mind, of course.
Of course. Let's see. Right, okay. Where did I put my other notes? My notes are too scattered, y'all.
No, I judge you not. I just spent the last weekend reorganizing my entire Google Drive, so all my notes were in a manageable position.
Right. Okay. She says, you should be able to reach the home of the wasps. Let's see, this way. And she leads you through the house along a small maze of hallways and rooms, and leads you into or out through what seems to be the back door onto a porch. Um, and she points out, um, and you see there is an area where, um, do, 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 do. What does it look like from here? You see what looks like a it's not necessarily a whole forest. You know, space and time are a little bit wonky here in the bayou. There is perhaps a what looks like maybe a whole forest of trees that are all in bloom. And um, for a moment, you all feel as though maybe that whole area, like all of the flowers are moving somehow. But no, your eyes refocus a little bit, and you realize there's some kind of a haze of something surrounding the trees. Um, and then the wind changes a little bit, and even from here, perhaps 4 or 5 miles away, you can hear the buzzing of thousands or maybe millions of insect wings.
Oh my.
No, that's a lot of damage. Okay. And we have a way to get home, or get, not our home, her home. Correct. She leaves us with.
Yes, she does give one of you some kind of a token. Let's see, what is the best for her token? Let me double check my notes.
The omniprismatic strand of hair.
I mean, it would make sense if it was something like a dried seed, like a baked seed that you'd have to like reinvigorate, whether it was with like water or your own blood or something.
Oh, yes. There is something along those lines I can use. She reaches into another one of her pockets, and she hands one of you a token, and she says, plant this and water it with your blood or sweat, and it will grow into a door back here. Only you and those you are touching will be able to pass through that door.
With this, it doesn't have to be anywhere nearby, or can we use it anywhere in the bayou?
She says, or she grins at you and says, it will work anywhere, anywhere in the bayou, perhaps even anywhere in the world, but only until the next sunset.
That checks out.
Like today's sunset or tomorrow's sunset?
Today's sunset.
Okay, just
the sunset that will happen soonest from now. The next one.
Vance looks around, taking the dried seed in his hand, and says,
Yep.
"Well, let's get buzzing then." And just it takes off in a staunch walk of Getting there before the sun goes down.
Absolutely.
Fair enough.
Vance, you notice that the seed is a little bit of an odd shape. It's kind of triangular and a little bit sharp on one point, but no matter.
So you can stab yourself with it.
As I'm walking, I wrap it in the fabric that I wrapped had the jar wrapped in originally.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yes.
All right.
I'm pretty excited here. I'm gonna just be like tasting this.
What are you tasting? What?
I think we only got one
nectar.
seed.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, there's just the one seed.
Never mind. I take it all back.
You're like,
Okay.
Yo, Vance, you want to give me a lick of that?
Oh gosh. Lick of that.
Okay.
Look at that Kit Kat bar.
We move towards the buzzing.
Yes. I would like someone to give me... Well, no, it doesn't seem interesting to make you roll this now. What else could I make you roll, though? Do you know what direction you're going in? It could be something about traveling quickly, or... it could be something about to help you prepare for when you get there. I am open to suggestions or ideas from any of the three of you.
So one good thing might be to try to be stealthy about this, so the bees or the wasps don't attack us immediately. If that's what they do.
Yeah, I think that might be our best bet.
How would one be stealthy against a cloud of millions of wasps?
I don't know. I got a stealth ability. So I guess it depends on how successful I'd roll a stealth to see. But that's one of my recommendations.
Now,
I mean, I can do experimental foraging here.
I was just going to ask, does Jebediah have any experience harvesting ingredients by taking them from bugs?
I don't know how. I mean, possibly, but I don't know if it would be a lot. If so,
Right.
It was just
I mean,
experimental.
Since he has experimental whatever, he probably has some experience with just messing with everything. But I'll bet you that unless he knows there's something good with bugs, or like maybe he knows that some can be like harvested for paralysis or whatever. But I don't know if he has any for like bees or wasps specifically.
Right. I will let you roll experimental foraging if you will tell me a short story about the time Jebediah got a beekeeper to teach him how to harvest honey.
All right, so there he was with a beekeeper. Now, I don't know why, but this beekeeper kept telling him he needed to put on this net over his face, and Jeb was just having none of it. So here he is, just taking the honeycomb straight out with this random beekeeper, and this dude just kept saying, "No, don't. You gotta not do that. It's gonna sting you. You're gonna be in trouble." And Jeb just wasn't listening, just taking out whole honeycomb, just like wiping bees off of it before squeezing honey out, or however the heck you do that. And eventually the bees did get pissed, and Jeb's bright idea was that if he slathered honey on him, they couldn't sting through the honey because it was too thick.
Oh, okay.
That didn't work. So then he just ended up running away while being sticky and covered in honey.
Oh, that's even better. Delightful. Okay. How about you roll for that real quick?
Okay. 16 plus 3.
Ooh,
Damn.
that is pretty solid.
Yeah.
16 plus 3, a 19. That is a full success. So, as the three of you reach the blooming woods here, I'd like you all to paint me a word picture of the preparations that this role has gotten the three of you. What little bits of beekeeping lore was Jebediah able to share with the other two? And then how were you able to apply any of
um Vance is definitely informed that smoke will be helpful. So he's over there chain smoking and without realizing it, producing more smoke than he realizes. Kind
Okay.
of like as a part of it, like he's just accidentally adding extra smoke as he's doing it, and just like trying to get it all into the air around where they're about to harvest from next.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Raquel realizes she should not lather herself in honey, so she does not lather herself in honey.
Okay.
No,
Good.
I'm trying to think of like other things, but that's smoke is a really good one. Can we see some of these wasps?
As you get closer, you start to see them. I was going to
How-
give you a description after this.
Yeah. Are we? I'm just curious. Are they like space bee size from like Futurama, or
I am not familiar with enough
like
with
human
that.
sized?
No, they are smaller than humans.
Okay.
In fact, they are pretty close to normal size.
Okay. I don't know what Raquel's doing with that story. Probably
Oh.
trying to cover herself in as much of her
That was-
clothing as possible.
Yeah, could Raquel maybe have some kind of like a gauzy see-through scarf or something that she affixes to her hat?
Yeah, she is wrapping herself in as much of the see-through cloth that she has, and pulls out some thin and proper gloves because she doesn't have thick and proper gloves.
Of course.
I'd like to think that story was more of just the beginning of it, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
then I got better from there. Like then I decided to listen.
Yes.
Right.
Like,
Which
just
is
putting
why.
that out there.
That's why
like, I
I'm.
probably had better things later.
Yeah, that's why I'm wearing clothes. Cause you learned.
And then what other preps that we're doing? Are we prepping for the actual like possibility of fighting someone too, or just prepping the ambrosia?
Probably. I mean, you could prepare for fighting somebody, but this is ideally just your preparations for being in a space full of bugs that you don't know how aggressive they're going to be.
Gotcha.
Van
Okay.
definitely has a first aid kit ready to go.
Okay, yeah.
That's fair. This is probably when I realized my lantern's gone.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like,
That makes sense.
what the? Did I leave it at the lady's house? And no time to actually think about it, but. Ooh.
Oh, go on.
I also wrap myself in some of the bedroll I have, like because that's some thicker padding material.
Oh, yes.
And
that
I can
makes sense.
share that with you guys. Any like the weird pieces of this.
You're sharing your bedroll with two men?
Yes.
Oh my. And one of them is Jeb?
I will always share my bedroll with you, Jeb. Well,
Mighty kind of you.
when it comes to bee, wasp, hornet situations,
Oh, there's stipulations. Okay.
yes.
I don't think that I can think of any other real like preparations I would do.
Mm-hmm. Just
And-
kind of cover up.
I mean, yeah, just cover like they said, we're just covering up. We've got our good friend who's just smoking them out. Like, unless I like am also starting a fire and I'm kind of trying to do like a smoke funnel system with something, but like I don't think there's anything specific that I can think of. Like if there's actual how does this work? Is there actual hives?
Yes, there will be.
Okay, so I probably am gathering sticks then so that I can build fires under the hives and have the smoke go up into the hive for a bit before I try to collect honey.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Excellent. So the three of you enter the blooming grove, and the sound quickly becomes very loud. It is extremely warm here, and you all become very familiar with the view of these golden wasps or these ambrosia wasps, and you see. Oh, hold on. I'm going to double check our lines and veils really quickly. Make sure that bugs are not one of them, because that would be sad. Okay. So, each of these wasps is maybe, gosh, almost the size of a thumb. From like the tip of the mandible to the tip of the stinger. They do shine a kind of a golden or coppery hue. Their wings, when they beat, they blur into kind of a prismatic rainbow.
That's pretty.
Let's see. And they each have a marking like on the back of the abdomen that looks like what is the shape of the marking on the abdomen?
Let's see here.
Iron Man's
What?
face.
What is a fun? Did you just say Iron Man's face?
Yeah. Instead of like a Black Widow symbol.
Oh yeah. We. I mean, it's kind of cliche, but it could be a death's head.
Nah, it looks like that.
Oh, the one you just drew. Oh, it looks like a fleur de lis.
Ooh.
Except that it's turned upside down.
Deal.
Yep, absolutely. Or maybe it does just look like it. Anyway, that's delightful. Thank you so much for sharing your art with us, Cameron.
I'm a professional.
They each have that fleur de lis mark on their abdomen, and speaking of being a professional, they each also have something shiny and also prismatic, like embedded into their thorax, like where their wings meet their bodies. It's almost like they each have a tiny diamond stuck into them. And they are everywhere.
Yeah.
And like I said, the buzzing is very loud, and this area is significantly warmer than anywhere else that you've been in the bayou. Thankfully, it's also a little bit drier, so you're not completely dying in the humidity. But it is perhaps somewhere between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit
Ew.
in this area. It becomes clear to you all very quickly that it is not a good idea to linger here.
Yeah. Especially making fires and wrapped in so much cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Just like home. That was a real life comment, not for Vance.
Yeah, it's bad. But anyway, there are.
Vance,
Oh, go ahead.
okay, Vance is following Jebediah very closely, getting ready to help light one of the piles of stick and debris that he's got on fire, so they can start smoking out the first hive they come to.
Absolutely. Jebediah, would you like to roll what's the word that I'm using? A foraging check for me of some sort?
I mean, all I got's experimental, but
Alrighty.
if that works, I'll do it.
Yeah, that works for me.
9.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
A 9. Okay. That actually makes a lot of sense to me for reasons that will become clear to you as I describe it. This area is amazing for a lot of reasons. And so you don't notice certain details in the order that you think you normally would. First of all, every single plant that you can see is flowering. Everything is in bloom. And there is a lot of pollen, and it smells delightful here. Except for when you pass a dogwood tree. But anyway, everything else smells pretty good. There is a lot of honeysuckle and lavender. It is beautiful. There, blah blah blah. The next thing, man, sorry, I keep on getting distracted by imagining this instead of describing it. There are hives everywhere, and you build a little fire underneath, and you light it, and you make sure that it's very smoky. You use some very green fuel, and
Those
then
honeysuckles will do it right away.
oh yeah. Um, and then you look up, and you realize that it's not the kind of hive that you can harvest honey from. It looks more like a paper wasp hive, more like simply a receptacle for eggs and a shelter from moisture, than a place to store food. And you look around, and every single wasp you can see, or every single nest or hive you can see around here, is simply wrong, not useful.
Oh no. Raquel whispers like, why aren't we getting the honey now?
This isn't a honey hive. There's no honey in these hives at all.
How?
Of course these are wasps. It says it right in the name. Wasps.
But where's the ambrosia that they're supposed to make? Like, don't insects put them in hives?
I don't know. I thought that maybe it'd be set up like a bee. That's why I told you all the bee story. But no, looks like it's not set up like a bee at all. Maybe it's just the nectar. Maybe it has nothing to do with the wasps. Maybe the wasps just like it. And I go to the flowers and investigate that a little bit.
The flowers seem entirely normal.
Would the bees be the source? Like, are they the ambrosia? They like have a weird color about them.
All right, new plan. I'm gonna try to catch a bee.
Oh boy. That is fascinating.
Obviously kitchen fighting.
Obviously, kitchen fighting.
It does feel like kitchen fighting. Man. So I will let you roll this, but I will have you. I must make it clear. The consequences of failure is that you make a lot of bugs, a lot of angry.
All right, well, I think that I'm risking it. I'll be right back, though.
Does the smoke seem to be at least exhausting the ones that are nearby?
Yes, it does
Okay.
seem to have that same drowsy effect.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not like, oh, these bugs are immune to fire. These are fire wasps kind of
Right.
thing. Okay.
No, yeah, it's not. I'm not that kind of cruel person. We've got to vamp a little bit longer. It looks like it's bedtime over at Cameron's house. Let's see.
Let's see. I'm trying to think, because if they're all these like the paper wasps hives, I mean, first of all, we can just take those. You can just take a wasp hive.
You could,
as Ellis says all the fucking time.
You can just take it. Nobody will stop you.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I got a cat in here now. 1 second.
This
is not what I was expecting.
At least it's
All
a
right.
cool cat.
I will be right. Yeah, he's not that bad, but I will be right back.
Okay.
And then figs are pollinated by the corpse of wasps. So maybe the ambrosia comes from that kind of interaction. Or maybe Raquel's right, and we just gotta squish the wasps up into jelly.
I don't know if it's jelly, but whatever that
Officially good.
crystal thing is, I think it's like candy ambrosia or like a what do you call it? Like sugar
store in the body.
Yeah,
like a calcification almost.
What is just like the rock candy stuff? It's like that.
All right, that was not the best. That's a 12.
That's a 12.
That's a partial.
Wait. Might be a 13 actually.
Would it
Kitchen
also?
fighting's a +4.
Oh boy.
I was also gonna
What
say
were
it
you
might
about-
get a bonus because of the smoke. But
So you got at least a 13.
At least a 13. Yes.
Okay. So you are in the partial success range. Which
only
is
a couple of the wasps are mad.
So I succeeded, but they're mad at me.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
I would like to draw another spindle wheel card because I like them a lot. What do we got? Nightmare. Dreams fulfilled. A recurring terror. A dreams of hellfire. Lightning striking the steeple. Okay. Hold on. I have an idea. This is not going to be pleasant. Everybody roll me 1d6 really quick.
To do
5.
I got this.
And then Raquel.
Oh, sorry.
No
My
worries.
bad.
If you could roll me 1d6.
I got a 2.
2. Oh, 2 of you both got very okay. Oh.
I love it when there's maniacal laughing from the person running the game.
Sorry, I'm just.
It's like that moment in season or campaign 1 of Critical Role where Matt's just like, "Give me more D12s. I don't have enough," and he's got a handful already. Like, what do you mean you need more?
Right. Okay, so Raquel,
Yes.
you realize that you recognize another kind of flower here.
Ooh, oh.
You are in fact standing in the middle of
Magnolias.
bed of magnolias.
So I'm already. Oh, okay. I'm getting another aversion. I'm going down to
You're going down to
4.
5,
I'm
4. Oh,
because I'm
because
getting
you lost
2. Yeah.
2. Ooh.
So I'm almost gonna get another aversion.
Um, before we decide that,
Yeah.
what does it look like when that happens to Raquel?
I think there
When
is like mouth
realization.
mouth dropped open, like a scream, but it's just like a silent thing, drowned out
Mhm.
by the buzzing.
Oh, very good. Vance.
I was gonna say, just for clarification,
Yeah,
magnolias grow on trees.
That's true, they do.
Not.
you're
like,
right. Thank
yeah.
you.
I only know that because Ellis loves the magnolias on our campus.
I mean, they are a gorgeous flower. I was just not even using my brain.
Okay,
Thank
you
you.
just they were growing around one of the wasps' nests that we were near.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I like that a lot. Vance,
Yes.
you have a moment of uh, irrational, awful emotion when you realize that Jebediah has run off a couple of steps to catch some wasps, and Raquel seems to have been absorbed in her own personal horror. And you feel that if you're not careful, the three of you could get split up very easily here and have a hard time finding each other with all of the racket and plant growth. And you feel isolated.
Alrighty. Oof, it's a hard hit for me as well. But that just drops me to 6.
Jebediah, you
Yep.
catch a bee in your jar.
Partial success.
Yeah. It looks like I have described. It seems less angry than curious about the nature of its current imprisonment. And looking now that you have one kind of trapped, you can look more closely at it. It like it does not look to your practiced eye does not look particularly edible.
I can't eat this.
Yeah.
It's like rock
There's
candy.
no hidden food or like sugar crystals on it. It just looks like a big old bug. You do see that this one, man, how to describe it? This one does have pollen stuck
To its little
in places
feetsies.
around its body on its little feetsies. Um, and its abdomen does look a little bit plump and distended, like it's full of something. Raquel, have you given much thought to your new aversion?
So it's usually gonna be caused by, like, it usually happens with what caused it. But because I
Or
already have the
something
aversion to
related.
magnolias, should it be buzzing or like droning noises?
It could be a buzzing or droning noise.
It could be nests.
It could be nests.
Oh,
It could be like a trypophobia thing,
I don't know what that
where
is.
that is a phobia of like seeing lots of little holes close together.
Mm.
It could be a phobia of me making decisions.
um, it could be a fear of getting stung by bees, even.
Which do you think is
Or
the most appropriate, since you are leading us on this little adventure.
Right. See, the one of the problems I have with the situation is that almost anything that you could choose is going to be relevant for a little while,
Yes.
right? And so I was trying to think of things that are a little bit more conceptual, maybe.
What about no. I think just buzzing noises will be the I think it
Okay.
because
It could be
again,
a fear of the symbol on the bee.
ooh, ooh,
It
ooh, a symbol of the fleur de lis.
Yeah,
it could be.
I'm just gonna write buzzing noises because
that's
Okay.
good.
Um
as my screams are drowned out in this cacophony of bumbling.
hmm, um ooh, it could be an aversion to, like, it could be a fear that no one is coming to save you,
Mm,
very similar to the isolation that Vance has, you know?
fear. Would you
Like,
say abandonment or
ooh, it abandonment is pretty good, yeah. Because that's different from isolation, but kind of, yeah.
I don't know how to spell. Okay, it
Because
corrected it
you
for
know
me.
what happened is that Jebediah left, and then you saw this thing, and then nobody came to help you because everybody was distracted by their own thing.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, abandonment
That sucks. But it sucks less than droning noises, which,
are all around
um,
me.
yeah, which I would either have to make you roll for a bunch, or just hand wave and say, it only counts if we encounter it a new time, which I think is technically how it's supposed to happen. But you know,
Okay. If I drop another willpower, I'll get another aversion. It's great.
I believe you are now pressured.
Uh, yeah, I should look at that real quick. I have it pulled up in my
Um,
thing. Um,
yes, you are pressured.
I can apply
Um,
10 gentle bonuses.
okay.
Vance is holding out a hand to each person, but really unable to speak at the moment, but kind of just trying to will both of them to take a hand from him.
Yeah.
I turn back and see both of my friends in absolute horror, and
Oh no.
I say, "Oh, it's okay. I caught it. There's no problems. It's right in here. But I don't know if there's anything about it that's special, and I don't think that he sees any note of care at all. But I do see the hand outstretched, so I'll go ahead and go over and grab the hand.
Okay.
And I'll say again, look, it's right here in the jar. It's okay.
I think once he's got Jeb's hand, he walks up and grabs Raquel, and then Vance is going to use transfiguration magic
Ooh.
to turn his jacket into a rope that binds them all at the waist.
Oh
Like
wow.
not so
We're
like
going
it would,
hard.
yeah, it'll stretch out, but it's not going to be too long, but it'll still bind them.
Okay. Let's see. This is not going to have a ton of game effects, though. I do think it will protect against some aversions here. And you also have the magic notebook, so I'm going to say this is an easy magic for you to do.
And it's tier 1 because it's just transfig.
Yep. So it will only cost you 1 maximum health.
Wonderful.
Wow. Who knew that rolling a success could cost the party a total of 5 willpower and 1 maximum health?
On the bright side, we got some rope out of it.
On the bright side, you got some rope and you caught a bee, and now you know that the bee probably isn't the honey.
Yeah, something's going
Oh,
on with its thoracic cavity, though.
Hmm.
I
There
don't
is-
know what.
Man, if only one of you was a jeweler
Yeah,
or an
but
entomologist.
yeah.
Could I roll? No, I don't think that would help.
Stories.
To remind us like where it's supposed to be or anything.
That could be good.
Yeah, maybe stories would be helpful. How about that?
Yeah, I'd be down with a stories roll. Stories is the best skill. I like it.
Oh, wasn't great there. 5
Not
total.
Oh boy.
an epic fail. You're
Ooh,
like, yeah, it said that it was in the nest.
you just gotta stick your hand in it.
Another negative twist. Goodness. Um.
Oh, I know what it is. At least I know what I think it is.
Okay. Give
Because
me
this is something I've been thinking about for a moment. So, like, I think Vance, being like very medically minded as well, knows that like people have used bees occasionally as like a temporary numbing thing. I don't know if that's super common now, but he's like part of his brain is just like, oh, maybe the honey comes from an aspect of being stung by these wasps, and it's just
Oh.
like a hallucinogenic effect. So he
All
suggests
right.
someone like
And
gets
since
stung by
and
it.
since this is a an epic fail roll here, I think that Jeb might just have to try it.
Jeb is gonna try getting stung by a wasp.
I think it's the one that he has. I'm gonna like hold it and like put it on his arm and like just hold it there or like antagonize it enough that it stings.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh.
After I hear the story, Vance is a smart person, so
yeah, Vance is very smart. He knows about a lot of things. Okay, let me draw a card to see what this looks like. Glory and glamour, a dazzling display, a garish firework. Shock and awe, sound and fury, a mask slipping to reveal fangs.
Oh.
Um, Interestingly, this is one of the cards that I drew to uh, help generate this area. Um, so I did not want to have magic cards in this campaign, but these cards are. Uh, they always do this. Okay, well, Jebediah, you become very aware of all of the colors of all of these the flowers around you. In fact, you think that you can see colors that you have never noticed before.
oh, I reckon that did do something here. I'm seeing that color, and I point at a general direction and say, I've never seen that color ever before in my life. It's somewhere between green and pink.
It's just blue. The flower. Well, it might be an indigo, but it's not that impressive.
Nah, I think it might be Gink actually.
Did you just say Gink?
Yeah, I said I said Gink like green and pink.
Oh, Gink, yes. Gink is a good color name.
Hmm. Now officially, that's the color of whatever I'm looking at. But,
Absolutely.
yeah, this is wow. This is I think I can see the air's color. Pretty sure oxygen's a different color over there. And I point in a general area in the sky.
Hmm.
Vance, you might be right. I think this is a hallucinogenic thing.
Vance is gonna make sure to monitor him just in case, because I did say we prepped a first aid thing.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
he's just
did.
like watching him, checking his heartbeat every now and then. He's like,
Yeah,
just keep speaking, Jeb. Make sure that we can still hear each other, just in
Yeah.
case it is not this.
you probably like treat the sight of the sting as soon as possible. Like,
I'm I think Jeb is trying to follow the colors to the nectar. Whatever that means.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll follow him as well, especially.
Did
Okay.
did the hornet that or the wasp that stung him? Did we get it back in the jar? Or did it fly away?
It flew away.
Okay.
Jeb, roll me experimental foraging with an additional +2. Because now you can see what the wasps see.
So that'll be
roll
+5.
Can I roll a first aid on Jeb while we're walking as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
All right.
21 + 5, so
Damn.
26.
I don't think we made it, guys.
And 24 on the first aid.
Nice.
With a rousing success, we both heal 1 willpower.
Yeah. So, Jebediah, you can bump your health back up 1 to 9 out of 9. I got that.
Oh, thank you.
And then since your willpower was already full, we'll say that the rest of that rousing success is just that you won't get any more awful side effects from this particular sting.
Can I grant it? I mean, I'm okay with more side effects if I can grant that Grayson's character feels better with the willpower instead.
Okay, yeah, I'm down with
at seeing how rousing my success was or something. It made her feel a little bit better about not being abandoned here.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
All of us bound together by a jacket rope, healing each other.
Yeah. Raquel, you become aware of how much Vance cares about both of you. Watching him tenderly find the little bit of stinger in Jebediah's wound and plucking it out with the finest tweezers you've ever seen. And also probably lancing it and squeezing out a disturbing amount of venom. You know.
Just another day in the bayou.
Just another day in the bayou.
Reckon that's another day in the bayou.
But Jebediah, that wasp that you released, you realize that it's a different color from all of the other wasps that you can see. And you can follow where it goes.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. That's the first obvious trail I've seen, so I'm doing that.
Right? In fact, its wings leave a bioluminescent trail that is a little bit gink and and just a little bit the color of rain.
And I'm saying that too as I'm following it. I'm like, you know how their wings have those colors and you can kind of see them just for a second. Well, with the sting, I can see it everywhere.
And it leads you maybe 200 or 300 feet away, past some berry bushes that are somehow both blooming and fruiting at the same time. And you look down into a small depression in the ground, and you see a pond, a perfectly hexagonal pond, full of honey that is the color of sunlight and joy.
I think I immediately put my finger in and taste it.
Oh my goodness.
I was told that this is the ingredient of all ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
The epitome of
and I'm not
hyperbole.
quite in my right mind.
That's fair. It is sweet, obviously, but it's also kind of savory. And it tastes. It has these hints of flavors in it that you just. It's such a complex, delightful mix of flavors of like various fruits and like it tastes kind of like the way that a lot of different flowers smell, and um, it's almost like these wasps have been uh, sipping nectar and chewing on herbs and eating berries and mixing them all together into something that you are certain could be used in literally any dish you can imagine. And depending on what other ingredients you put it with, it will make the whole thing taste more like itself and also more like the ideal version of that dish that you might taste in a dream.
Is this what we've been looking for, Jebediah? And like as Vance is saying that, he's getting sampling containers prepped just in case it is, and like looking to Raquel and saying, I think this is what we're here for.
Yeah, after being in a stupor, I think that I had that jar in my hand, right?
Uh-huh.
I think it goes right in.
Yeah, you just dip the whole gloopy yeah, it we get a
Very
just
Pooh Bear scene.
yeah, a like a gratuitous like live action Pooh Bear scene. Like a macro lens that zooms in on honey that run down the side of the jar. Um,
I lick it off the jar. There's no way.
yeah, that is included in the macro shot.
Like really zoomed in, and then my tongue just appears on the super zoomed in screen and just like licks up the bottle. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be sensual whatsoever, but
But maybe it is a little bit. It sits
It's
in
not
that like
supposed to be, but it is.
it sits in that uncomfortable zone between kind of sensual and kind of gross.
yep, that's exactly where we're chilling.
And then in the background is Vance and Raquel filling these little tiny sample bottles.
Yeah, like carefully pipetting little bits of this into.
Yeah.
I'm getting any container I can, and I'm just like dunking it into these spots. Just dunking
Do
any
you
container I can find.
do you have your
empty
entire pot?
canteen.
Yeah. Like anything, I think that I keep one canteen, but if I had anything extra over like one canteen total for water, like I'm like I have to have water. So I kept one small canteen of water, and I'm like everything else, honey.
Okay.
Do you
Oh,
fill up
boy.
your pan with it, and you're just like,
I'm holding my pan in front of me everywhere I go right now with just a giant thing on it.
Yeah.
It's just like full of honey, and I'm just walking around that way.
are the wasps agitated with us here?
With a 26 on that foraging roll, I don't think they are.
And then just to answer my
I'm
own
one of
question, Cameron's the only one who can see that one wasp's color. Does it drink nectar and gain its color back? Or do we not get to know?
I am not sure I understand the question.
So the one wasp that we followed over here,
Uh-huh.
the one that stung him, it lost, or its color changed to the rest of them. So does it drink the...
No, because I got stung by it, I could just see its trail specifically, not that it
Oh,
changed color.
just because it's that
Yeah.
one? I thought it, like, lost something
No,
changing
no,
its
no,
color.
Jebediah learned to see colors outside of the normal visible spectrum,
Yes.
and was able to differentiate between all of the bugs.
Okay.
So he could recognize that
The one.
particular one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it lost some sort of color, and that's what happened. And then it would drink and gain color back. but I understand now. He's just so good at differentiating because he's got perfect color pitch.
Right.
He has reached the 5th awakening or whatever.
He's gonna be able to see all 100 shades of gray in Scarstone.
Aw, yeah.
Oh, there is so much gray and sepia in Scarstone.
Vance stands up after capping the last of the samples he has, and he says, he looks to the sky and says, "We should get back quickly. Is the sun set yet?"
The sun is on its way toward the horizon.
Get that.
You expect it might be somewhere between 3 and 4 of the clock.
Okay. And it's super hot here, right?
It is so hot here. There is so much sweat all over all of you.
Vance is gonna draw the seed out of the wrapping and just wipe it across his head like you would a sleeve and bury it in the ground right there.
All right.
And say, "Let's get back before supper."
Fair enough.
The ground rumbles a bit, and then oh man, a tree sprouts from where you planted this seed, except that it's a very oddly shaped tree.
It's shaped like Vance.
It reminds you of a human skeleton or human bones somehow. The very first little sprout looks to be the shape of a skull, and then it rises up, and you see textures like a rib cage and knobbles that look kind of like the joints at the end of bones. And then the tree splits apart into more of an oval opening that then continues to creak and bend until it becomes a rectangular door made out of bones, made out of wood.
Vance looks to the other two before taking the doorknob and says, "We have got to stop trusting people around here."
Fair.
Jeb? Whoa.
Just covered in honey.
He also filled his mouth with honey. That was another receptacle.
And then Vance will open the door.
Don't check his pockets.
Oh no. You are the grossest.
Why does he? You ever trying to pickpocket him? He keeps putting in his pocket.
I hope your pockets are full when some orphan kid tries to rob you.
Oh no.
The hell is this sticky shit?
He licks his hand and then he's also in ecstasy. He's like, I get it, man. I get it.
And the three of you step through the door back into the woman's home. Do we need to pause there for the day? I don't remember how time works for our game sessions.
11-ish. It was when we were ending, but I mean,
I think this
it's
is a good.
whatever for me.
I think this is a
I
good
feel
pausing
like-
point.
I feel like this is a good natural pausing point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deal.
So thank you all for watching. Please look out for the description below for some information on those cards. And again, this is Roll for That. We love you.
We love you.